Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Circworks, and today's Friday, so that means another Fan Art Friday. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I think I'm going to break this up into two parts. So I am going to I'm going to continue drawing. I had fun last time with the Shogun Warriors, so I'm going to continue to do that. Oh, sorry, this is another fairly decent sized page, so I'm gonna have to move it around so you guys can see it. So we're just gonna work on some gestures right now. But yeah, I'm probably gonna break this video into two parts, just because they tend to be long, and I figured if somebody wanted to watch an hour-long video, they can just watch the first half and then just go right on to the second half. And if that's too long, then they can either watch it later or just watch part of it or whatever. So I'll probably do the drawing and maybe the inking, depending on how much how much time all that stuff takes. So but yeah, this one I'm doing another Shogun Warrior because I had a lot of fun with the last one, and actually I got some requests to do. I got a big long request list, which I'm not going to do everything on the list, but it'll give me things to draw from. But again, if you guys have any suggestions or any pop culture stuff you want to see me draw, just let me know. Send me a comment. But yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this one's going to be Gaiking, which is the one that I assume he's called that because he kind of looks like a Viking. He's got these kind of Viking style horns. So this is another one that I had as a kid. I had a couple of them, and I drew the Mazinga Z, or however you want to call that guy. I drew him last week, so I figured I'd do this one too. And seemed like people like the Shogun Warrior guys, so here's another one. Sorry, I'm out of. So yeah, right now I'm just kind of laying out a basic gesture, and I've kind of got a little like a rough sketch to look off of that I drew before. Yeah, Matt Strott, who was watching last time, he said, "Oh, I can't believe you were just kind of moving around and didn't really lay down a gesture." I usually always do, but like last time this is the one I did last week, and previous to that, I just did a kind of a quick sketch, this guy here, just to kind of get an idea. Because sometimes when I'm doing these videos, I don't want to just go into it blind. Because you never know. A lot of times I'll start drawing something that's just not working, and to kind of speed things up a bit, I want to kind of have a basic idea of what I'm doing. So I'm kind of doing the same thing here. You can see here, this is my kind of rough sketch of this guy. So I'm just kind of gonna have a basic idea. And I mean, actually, these poses aren't terribly complicated, but nevertheless, just want to make sure I kind of have an idea what I'm doing. So, but yeah, I always use use gestures and shapes and things to figure out what I'm doing. I can't. This is going to be difficult. Just it's the position of the camera. Let me see if I can move things around a little bit. That might be a little better. So yeah, this is a bigger sheet of paper that I'm used to drawing on. So just kind of, again, I like to, when I do these Shogun guys, I like to give them huge fists, just because it's kind of how I remember them. The big fists that launch out, and bigger than the fist, bigger than their head, And you know, some of the cartoons and things that they've got like normal size fingers, which makes it easier for them to like move and hold weapons and things like that. But I don't know, I like to exaggerate them quite a bit. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll make this guy have a sword or not. It just depends. I guess I've got room for it. So I'm kind of waiting on this part. This is kind of, his chest part is kind of complicated. It's got a lot of, you know, dimensions to it and everything. So I'm going to wait on that, and I'll take care of that last. Same thing, kind of with the same thing with the feet. Give him a big wide stance here. But yeah, make the feet pretty big too. So I've got that pretty well blocked out. Now's a little more difficult part. So his chest plate is actually, his chest plate or whatever you want to call it, it's actually like a face in itself. So it's kind of like a, almost looks like a tiger or a lion. Somebody that knows a little more about this early manga or anime might be able to tell me what that is. All right. So he's got these little eyes here. And let's see. Comes down here, and then we're gonna have, oh wait, I messed up a little bit. The good thing about these Cola Erase pencils that I'm doing, they do erase, which not all color pencils do that. So now we've got putting in some of these, it's got these teeth here. Goes like that, I think. This is going to come out a little more. Here, sorry about that. I'm just trying to show some of the perspective here. This, of course, will all be a lot more clear when I go to the inks. I don't know. I just tend to draw pretty light. But then he's got the bottom teeth here. And I imagine this, you know, on the toy it didn't really do anything, but I imagine it probably, in the cartoons and everything, probably opens up. I mean, the mouth probably opens up, so. This. And this will come back here. It's probably got like a hinge or something, like right in there. And then we got to do the inside, because there's, again, there's some dimension here. So I want to see that. And then in his eyes, he's got these little missiles that shoot out, but I'm just going to draw eyes there. Okay, so now his shoulders, they're not exactly just round. They're more, I don't know, kind of like that shape. I don't know what you would call it. So it's a little different than the guy I drew last week. Now for the face. Kind of similar to Mazinga. He has that knight kind of suit of armor type face plate here. And it kind of comes back here. Just gonna pop in the eyes here. Nose. And he also has like a spaceship in his head. But with him it looks a little different. It's like it doesn't look like it detaches like the other guy. It just looks like his head looks kind of like a ship. It's got this window here, but again, it doesn't look like it separates. And I could be wrong, but I'm gonna redraw these and make sure they look right. Let's see. Yeah, I kind of messed up. This needs to go out more. Yeah, I've been doing these little daily sketches. They're really doodles. They're not, I don't spend too much time on them, and it's like, it's hard. It's sometimes I've just been busy during the week. I've kind of got a little break here that I can actually work on this. This is the first little break I've had. Actually, just a text message just popped up. One of my clients wanted to know if I could do something, but I'm going to wait till after I finish this. But yeah, sometimes it's even hard to find the little 5 and 10 minute block just to do this other, these little sketches. I'm filling that little tiny sketchbook, and I've been showing some of them. None of the stuff I've done I'm like super happy with, and it's because I'm trying not to be too precious with it, because it's just a sketchbook, and it's hard because you see some of these people that have these amazing sketchbooks, and I'm like, but I'm trying not to let that discourage me and just do it as an exercise. But I've been posting just because I also want to post something every day, if I can, but it's really not my best work, so I don't know what's better, to post every day or put out good work. I don't want people to look at that and think that that's all he does. And I try to make it known that these are just real quick doodles and everything, and real sketchy, but I don't know if I should just keep them to some of them I do keep to myself, because I just not happy with them at all, but it's good to, and a lot, even though I'm not happy with it, there's like little kernels of ideas here and there on some of these sketches that I have done in my little sketchbook. So it's good to do, because I could see, taking these little doodles and maybe doing something with them. But yeah, I wish I had a little more time to spend on them. But the book, it's hard. It's kind of hard for me. And I don't, excuse me if I talked about, I don't remember if I talked about this last week or not. But it's hard for me to draw on those little tiny sketchbooks because, first of all, they're thick. So your hand's kind of awkwardly positioned because I like to rest my hand flat, like on a flat surface, but I don't really have that surface. So it's a little different. And then because the way the book folds open, there's the other side that gets in your way. So they're all, some will be upside down or sideways or whatever, because I'm more concerned about positioning the sketchbook in a place that's comfortable for me to draw. So okay, we're getting close to a rough layout. I don't know how much I'm gonna continue before inking. Again, just an effort to speed things up. So I don't know what kind of, I think he has some wings. These are a little more straightforward than, here, back again to the one I did last week. I really like these wings. They really got a cool shape to them. But these ones are more just like, these angular wings that pop up. And on the large size toy, the one that I had, he didn't have the wings. But I've seen some of the smaller toys where they do. So, that angle is supposed to go this way, I think. I'll give him those, and then trying to look at a piece of reference to see what his sword looks like. Hold on. Looks like it's kind of got like the perspective of the one I'm looking at is kind of off, so I don't have much room here, so I don't know if I should bother with the sword, because if now it's like super small. Yeah, he could just be making a fist, or I don't know. Oh well, I guess he'll have a small sword. Maybe it gets larger. Maybe it expands. But anyway, he's got a knife instead of a sword. But considering his size, I mean, the sword is probably huge anyway, because he's pretty big himself. I guess I will go back and define these shapes a little bit more, just because they're getting a little more complicated here. And I'm maybe changing things around a little bit, but that's all right. So hopefully, like in the second half, do some coloring. I want to break out those markers. I was watching some other marker videos, and there was one I should have bookmarked it, but this person was doing these amazing marker renderings, a little bit of Prismacolor pencils, and which I need to look and see if I have a set, because they were doing some amazing stuff. But I think all my Prismacolors are like down to like hardly anything, whittled down. So if I even still have any, but I should get another set, because those work pretty good with the markers. You can do some cool stuff. I used to do all kinds of illustrations with Prismacolor pencils, but not so much anymore. Lately, I've just been doing a lot of vector stuff, game design, which is cool because the one project I'm working on, I can't say much about it because of like non-disclosure agreements and stuff like that, but it's right up my alley. If you've gone to my website and you know like the circ work stuff that I do, you can kind of get an idea what the theme of this game I'm working on is. So it's pretty fun, you know. It's not often you get projects that are just totally tailored to what you like to do. So I'm looking to hopefully do more of that. Like anytime I do any you know, freelance projects I take on, I'd like to, you know, I want to get to the point where and I'm getting there now, at least. Sometimes I'll just, if I really need the money, I'll take on something that, like, more of a corporate thing that I'm not really crazy about. But lately I've been doing some cool stuff, so I'd like to do that and then just work on my, you know, work on my own personal projects. And I've put in some time on my comic book, so that's good. It's good to be back doing that. You know, I'm gonna give him this come out a little more. Wait. A little Darth Vader-esque, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm just playing around here. I guess that would be hidden behind this front plate. All right. So he's starting to come along. He's probably getting close to where I can start inking him. How are we doing on time? Yeah, I probably should start inking them if I'm going to keep these to about a half hour. Then I'm going to do that. So let me get my ink out. Okay, got my ink out, and again, I like to just show this every time. I know if you've watched this, you probably already know, but just in case you're curious, because people do ask, I'm using a Deleter number 5 black ink. It's a manga ink, and it works really good with the Copic markers. Doesn't smudge or anything, and it's really smooth. I've kind of made the switch to that particular ink. So, and then I have an aught or a 0 Winsor Newton Cotman brush. These are a little less expensive than like the Series 7, which I also have right here that I'm going to use for my bigger areas, but I don't have a Series 7 this small. So, and this one seems to work pretty good, especially for these little sketches and everything. All right, so I get some ink on the brush here, and I'm just going to start inking over my line art. Like so. So let's see. What's been going on this week? Like I said, just been working on pretty busy doing client work. So I'm hoping I got the stuff done that I needed to, so until like next week when I start on some more tasks, but I should have some time in the weekend to actually hopefully work on my comic a little bit, and I'd like to get some stuff, you know, for the new video series that I'm planning, get some of that stuff done finally getting caught up after, Christmas, of course I've got 3 kids, so you tend to spend some money on Christmas, and then of course when you're freelance, everyone takes a vacation. And you don't really get to take vacation. You don't really get paid vacation. So I'm finally getting caught up to the point where I can actually like have a little extra money where I can make some purchases and stuff. So I'm gonna get a video editing software that I've been looking at and see if I can learn that, and then some other stuff. I want to get a microphone, so if I want to do like some voiceovers, like if I want to film like a speed paint, and then I can do a voiceover, and just some other stuff, get kind of a setup where I can do some of that stuff. So looking forward to doing some of that kind of stuff. But yeah, just for this weekend, I'd like to get some time in on my comic, and some stuff for the video, and I still haven't started. One of my goals was to get one new print created each month, so haven't even started that. So we're about halfway through the month, I think. So I need to get on that. But yeah, what else? So I don't know if you guys saw, they had one of my Beyond 100 Days of Making Comics video where I did a little review on my tablet monitor, and I have been having some major problems with it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping I actually like to return it, but I don't know. I've had it since November, so I've had it a couple months, but I can't. I mean, it's just wreaking havoc on my computer. It's I've got these deadlines that I'm working on, and it starts doing just weird, erratic stuff. Like the cursor will just freeze, and it does this multiple times, and like I'll have to like reboot my system, and sometimes there'll be like 2 cursors on the screen at the same time, and they'll like be flipping out, like, and then the computer starts beeping and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So yeah, I just had to unplug the thing and plug my Intuos tablet back in. And to be honest, I mean, the whole thing about me getting like a tablet monitor was because I thought it was just going to revolutionize my workflow, and that hasn't been the case. I mean, as soon as I switch back to my Intuos tablet, it's like it's been so much easier to work on. One, because I don't have to keep switching back between the mouse, to control my and the stylus to control my other monitors. 2, because the resolution on the tablet monitor isn't quite as good as my other monitors, so I keep having to look back, and it's it's a pretty big tablet monitor. It's 19 inches, but I'm used to having a little bigger screen to work on, and it just, I don't know, it hasn't really helped my workflow at all. I thought it would help, especially for sketching, and it probably, it is, in some ways, it's a little easier to sketch on the tablet monitor because you don't have, you're drawing directly on the screen instead of, you don't have that disconnect from drawing, like right here. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can't see, but my Intuos tablet's under here. So, I'm drawing here while the screen is up in front of me. But I guess I'm just kind of used to that. So I don't know if it's just, I'm not sure if it's the brand or what, or the fact that I'm trying to get it to run on like multiple monitors. But I just, somebody who knows a little more about this stuff can probably figure out ways. Like, I don't know if it's a driver issue, but like I said, I've only had it for 2 months, and I downloaded the newest driver. so I don't know how often I have to keep updating drivers and things like that. I just don't know. It's just not, I'm just not computer savvy enough to figure out what all the problems or where they're coming from. And, I've called tech support a few times and they get back to you and everything, but, sometimes, it's a Chinese company, so sometimes they don't exactly know. I mean, it's like they've got a set list of things they'll tell you if something's not working, and it seems like my particular case is out of the ordinary or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm hoping I can return it, and then I might just, assuming that I can get my money back, I might just put that aside and try to save up for a Cintiq or something, or maybe one of the, the, I don't know if I get like the HD monitors, one of the HD tablet monitors, if it'll be any better. They're a little bit bigger. Every company that makes these Cintiq alternatives have one now. Like the Huion, which I have, they just put out like a 22-inch HD monitor. Monoprice has one, and I think those are it's kind of the same. They're just packaged differently or something. They're branded differently. And then Unova also has a HD. I think they're all 22-inch monitors. And I probably should have waited and got one of those, but I don't know if that's going to solve my problem. I don't know if I don't know how much of it has to do with that. I mean, it certainly helped the colors a little bit, but it just trying to run it on a system with these other monitors, and I don't know. So I'm a little frustrated, but like I said, I mean, I just can't, I don't have the time to mess around with it. Like I just had to disconnect it because it just, I mean, I had to reboot my computer like about 4 times in the span of an hour just to get it to set back up. And I can't deal with that. I'm trying to, I'm trying to work on a job, and you've got deadlines, and this thing is not helping at all. So I mean, it took a load off my back when I switched back to my Intuos, but I don't know. And I don't want to say necessarily it's the company or whatever, or because I've heard a lot of other positive things about it, and I researched it quite a bit before I bought one, but I don't know. It's just not, for me anyway, it's not working, so I don't know really what else to do. But yeah, I'm usually like one of those people, if I buy something, if it doesn't work, I just don't go to the trouble of like returning it. But it wasn't like a cheap item. It certainly wasn't like expensive like a Cintiq, but it's, I don't want to, it's money I don't want to throw out. I mean, I don't like to waste money, but I just don't. It's weird. I've never been the kind of person that like sells stuff on Craigslist, because I just don't. I don't want to. I'm like, it's weird. It's like a weird kind of dichotomy, because I'm like super frugal and super cheap, and I any purchase I make, I mull over my head whether it makes sense to buy this or whatever, and I don't just spend money frivolously. That's a hard word to say. Frivolously. You know what I'm saying? Tongue tied there. But yeah, I don't just spend. I feel like Daffy Duck, or Porky Pig, where he stutters and then finally just finds another word to say. But I don't spend my money like willy nilly or anything like that. So, but on the other side is I just don't like to take the time to, to try to sell stuff on Craigslist or put stuff on eBay and deal with all that hassle. It you know if I buy something that I don't use anymore, I'll like give it away, or it'll just sit there collecting dust, or I'll give it to Goodwill or something. But I don't want to do that with this thing. I'm just hoping that I can still return it. or sometimes I'll exchange something for if it's broken or something. I don't know if this is necessarily broken. Like, I think it would work fine maybe on another computer, possibly one that doesn't have another two monitors to kind of compete with, I guess, which it shouldn't be a problem because that was one of the things I researched when I bought it, and that's the one of the reasons why I bought this particular one, because it said it could work with a multi-monitor setup. But whatever the case is, it doesn't seem to like my system, and it's like a battling it. So I don't know. If any of you guys know a little bit about these monitors and things like that, I got quite a bit of actually the video I posted that was kind of, I wouldn't say it was a review so much. It was just my initial thoughts. It was part of my 100 days, beyond 100 days, but I talked about the tablet monitor. It got more views than I usually get on those type of things. So, and I did get some comments on different things, but I don't know if anyone has any suggestions. Like I said, I'm not used to returning stuff, so I don't know if 2 months is too late to return something. Hope not. I really, I kind of like to just send it back and like I said, just wait and maybe try again some other time, because I want to, I'd like to get to using a tablet monitor for like sketching and like get Manga Studio, but I need one that can work without you having to be a whiz with a computer to figure out what the problems are. I just want something you can plug in and it works, which maybe that's too much to ask. So anyway, sorry to unload all that on you guys, but I'm sure it's of interest to some people. I mean, if you're thinking about buying these monitors, and so I don't know if I don't know if a Cintiq could be any better. It's just so much money to spend on something like that. But, if you look at it as an investment, I mean, if you can do it for your work and you're able to make some money at your work, you know who I should ask? I probably should ask Eric Ferries. He just got a Cintiq, and I kind of sometimes we IM each other back and forth, and he seems to know a little bit about that stuff. I don't know if he knows. See, I don't know how many people know about the one that I have, or I just think it's a unique problem. So I don't know if anyone could really help me with it. It all depends on kind of what computer you got, So but that's I'm just looking at my time right now. So I was hoping I can do the drawing and then the inking, and keep those each at about a half hour. I'm a little over right now. So what I might do is just shut the camera off and finish this up, finish the inks up, because I mean you've kind of seen me inking this, so I mean it's pretty much more of the same. But then I'll probably come back before this particular video is over and show you the finished inks, and then anyone's interested in me coloring it can check out part 2. So I'm going to finish these inks, and then so the next thing you'll see is a finished ink drawing. Okay, got most of this guy pretty much inked in. Sorry I can't fit them all in the screen. Maybe I can lift this up a little bit. Not so much. Yeah, I'm kind of dealing with a kind of a crazy little rig here. You had a few smudges on this thing. The problem is when I'm, usually if it was just going to be ink drawn, I can go in and add my little white pen. But since I'm going to go over it in markers, I don't know how the markers will react to that white pen. But let me go ahead and, you know what? I had a little ink on my finger there. Let me see if I can go ahead. A couple of my things I keep signing 14. So anyway, I think that's going to do it for this half. And like I said, I want to keep it close to a half hour. And but there'll be a whole nother episode that you can watch if you want to see me color this guy in. So if you guys are going to join me with that one, then I'll see you then. If not, thanks for watching. And yeah, send any requests you got if there's any fan art characters you want me to tackle on one of these episodes. But for those of you guys who are going to watch the part 2, I'll see you then. And everyone else, that is all.